Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on the Mozantic Confessions. Oh, I'm so excited. Yesterday, you won't even believe it, I spoke with a Russian guy. He gave me a very funny confession. One of these days, I'm going to share with you that confession. For now, let us get into the episode of the day. The latest confession that I received, it reads like this. Hello, my brother. Can you please post for me as anonymous? I sacrificed my son for rituals and his ghost is now haunting me. I am a woman who is aged 50 and I live in Pretoria. About 6 years ago, I ventured into the clothing company. Then 2 years down the line, things didn't work well for me because I was arrested for selling counterfeit clothes. Most of you know which type of clothes I'm talking about. So after I had gone broke, I shared with my friend what was happening to me, and she said that she knows someone who was going to end my problem. She told me that I had encountered this problem because God wanted me to go back to church. Then we went to her church that she was now attending, but there was something funny about this church. This church, I don't want to mention it by name. Even if I tell you the uniform that they wear at this church, you are automatically going to recognize that church, but that church is all about money. The moment that you arrive at the church, at the door, there is a big plastic container. You have to put some money there. Even when you are seated in church, envelopes are always going around. You have to put money in those envelopes, and also big leather bags, they go around with the ushers. People will be just putting money in those leather boxes. My brother, I was so shocked with the way that people were giving money in that church. But also, I began to think, why will these people not give money to God? Because outside there were big cars. At that time, there was this certain car which I still remember very well. The Audi Q5 was still a thing in those years, and most of these people, they were driving those type of car. Even my friend, she had a very big car. Then later on, my friend told me that I have to go and meet Papa in that church. The pastors, they are called a Papa or a spiritual father. But the funny thing that I noticed about our spiritual father was that he was the only pastor that I know of who didn't have a wife. He was never married before. Ever since he came out of Bible college, people said that he was too pure for him to get married. Immediately when we arrived at Papa's residency, I recognized that most of the faces that I was seeing at his house were people from church. Then my friend told me that each and every day of the week, a member of the church has to ask for an off day at their job. Then they come at Papa's house. If you are a man, you have to clean the pavement and also water the garden and do all the chores that are done by a gardener. If you are a woman, you have to do all of the chores that are done by maids and all of that stuff. He even told me that maybe if you are a builder and there is a problem at Papa's house, you are supposed to tell your boss at work that you are sick. Then you go and you do the maintenance at Papa's house. She told me that this was our spiritual duty to make sure that Papa always stays in a very comfortable environment. My friend was so excited when she told me that when they were building Papa's house, the moment that they finished building, she volunteered to paint some of their rooms. So as we were sitting down, I noticed that there was a Tupperware sugar dispenser, but it was written holy sugar. Then Papa instructed me to take that sugar with me back home. When I went home, I began to dream about him, but in the dream, it was as if he was giving me this brown sugar, but it was more like it had turned into liquid. He was pouring this liquid into my mouth in my sleep. But each and every night that I will dream of Papa giving me this liquid sugar, early in the morning, somewhere around 4 or 5 a.m., I'll wake up with the big running stomach. I'll just run to the toilet. The moment that I just sit on the toilet seat, stuff will be pouring out of my stomach. Then the rest of the day, it will be as if something will be moving in my stomach. I told my friend of all the things that I was dreaming about. She told me that I needed deliverance. Then she called Papa. Then Papa gave us an appointment. We went to his house. It was at night. I even asked myself, what is really going on here? because he had a Bible open and he was like, money is the root of all evil. Now let us pray. But the way that he was praying, it was so different. It was as if he was not even a Christian at all, because he was saying that money is good, money will chase away all of your problems. So after he had finished, then he told me that he had a revelation and he had seen in spirit that I had been dreaming about him a lot. He explained that in my dream he had been fighting for me. I then told him the dream, that I have been dreaming and you have been giving me this sugar that you gave me that other day. Then he told me that he is going to give me something that is going to wash each and every bad thing that was in my stomach. He went into his room, or I don't even know, but what I remember, when he came back, he had a big can, like those big cans that they sell in Clicks, the ones for diet shake. Then he gave me and he said, you have to go and drink this until it is finished. To cut the long story short, I drank that medicine and then I went back to see Papa, because now he told me, from now on, my child, you have the access to me 24/7, even in the middle of the night. If something troubles you, just come straight without making any appointment. He told me that he doesn't sleep, he doesn't rest, his eye is rested upon me day and night to protect me. Then Papa told me that I have to sacrifice someone that I love the most. It was not for me to sacrifice my last born. Even if you ask me why I did it, I don't even have a reason. But once you set your feet in the deepest waters, it is very difficult for you to turn back. I don't even know what made me to choose my last born. Papa then said I should call his name, but the way that I should call his name, he gave me a mirror. Then he said this mirror, I was supposed to put it in my bedroom. So I looked for someone to come and install that mirror. Then he said, when you are standing in front of that mirror, call his name, and when he appears, pretend as if you are stabbing him in the chest. Stab him until he doesn't appear in the mirror anymore. Then he gave me a very small clay pot, and there were words that were written on that clay pot, and he told me that those words are not allowed to be uttered to anyone. So my son was stabbed whilst he was having an argument in a tavern. Then he died on the spot. Soon after his burial, I received a call. It was from one of these other Indian that I had dated so many years ago. This Indian guy, he wanted to marry me, but I didn't trust him, because deep in my heart I felt as if it was not about love. This guy was just after getting papers. So I said, no, I cannot marry you. So this Indian guy, he begged me and he said he wants to meet me just one more time. I went to him and we made love. As we were sleeping on the bed, he told me that he had been having nightmares, and in those nightmares I was the only person who was coming to his rescue. I texted Papa, and Papa told me that that is your golden ticket. Make sure that you are not going to chase away that man. So what happened is that when we were dating, this guy then told me that he had made some connections on Alibaba. So he had a clothing container that was going to be delivered in Durban, and I asked him that I had this dream of starting my own clothing shops, and he decided that he was going to open a boutique for me. From there on, things started to go up and going up and going up. Life is so funny. Today you might be walking on foot, but the next day you are already driving. This Indian guy, you won't even believe what he did next. So I was complaining to him that, look, I am afraid that the way that I'm running this business, when I close the shop, I don't have a car that I use. Then he phoned his friend who had a car sale in Johannesburg, and he said that he wanted a car. He just asked me, what kind of a car do you want? Then we went there. I just took that car. I couldn't even believe it. The moment that we were coming out of the castle, I was like, should I just speed away with this car? Then I remembered what Papa had told me, that this Indian was going to be my golden ticket. Now what is worrying me is that the money that I get from my business, I'm not allowed to use it the way that I want. Even to help my own family members, I'm not allowed. I have to call Papa, and Papa, if he says no, you're not going to give that person any money, then I'll just tell, even if it is a critical matter, if Papa says no, then it's a no. The other thing is that I keep on dreaming about the way that I'm going to die. And one thing that I can say, the way that I die in my dreams is a very terrible dream, but the dream keep on repeating itself. At the end of the dream, I am dead. Then as I am walking into the light, there is a big creature that comes at me. Then it grabs me, it drags me into the darkness. Then I just wake up. That was a confession from our dear sister right there. The sad part about this confession is when I asked her, so what do you think about this spiritual father of yours? And she told me that she believes that he is a true man of God. Dear listeners, tell me what you think about this sister of ours. Maybe you can help her out in the comment section.